Welcome to Breakfast Food, the weekly comedy podcast with stupid stories, funny anecdotes and advice you never even knew you wanted. From me, Cara McKinley.
And me, Annabel Logan.
Welcome to our podcast specifically about conspiracy theories and nothing else from this day forward.
This is now us, and we are going to, I'm sure, add something very unique to this conversation.
We are the only conspiracy theory podcast on any platform.
It's mad. I've never seen any others. Maybe that's a conspiracy. Who knows?
Maybe that's a conspiracy for next week.
Do you know what? You actually inspired me when we started chatting about this to start listening to another podcast which has conspiracy things and already,
Which one?
Conspiracy theories.
Oh, yeah. What episodes have you listened to?
I've just started from the beginning. So the first one I think is Princess Diana.
Oh, yes. Princess Diana.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory of the... Here's my problem that I've been having when I've been researching the conspiracy theories. I feel like I'm going insane. Yeah. Because... I feel like if you look into any conspiracy theory for too long, you start being like, but what if? And it's like, and now I'm like, I feel like I'm literally losing my mind because the one that I've brought forward is so dumb. It's so dumb. But like, because I've been like reading into it, I'm like, it kind of makes sense, even though it really doesn't.
I know. My safety net starts to kind of dissolve and I'm like, but maybe there is... Oh, and I really do genuinely picture myself starting to wear a tinfoil hat. And I'm like, it's time. This is beginning.
Like, again, I say this every week, my notes are a mess. My notes are always a mess for these. But this time it feels so much more like I've taken things and like put red thread between them all. And like, this is how it feels.
Writing
and I'm just
in
like,
code.
oh no. Yes, I know. But obviously I haven't. And also just since we never actually claimed this to be the Weekly Waffle, just in case anyone's wondering, it's conspiracy theories.
Oh, I have not got a theme tune. It's fine.
I know. I was gonna say. I was like, is there any theme tune specifically for? Because the first one that came into my head was do 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 do. You know that.
There is also a very retro 90s British TV program. I can't. Oh, that's gonna annoy me. Right, I'm gonna like look this up and I'll put it in the link. But it had Des Lynam. Do you know Des Lynam?
We already have discussed in many of these podcasts. I don't know anyone's names ever.
Oh, it was so good. It was like it had the best theme tune as well, and they solved or tried to solve weird mysteries. I think it was Des Lynam mystery.
I feel like
Google.
I feel like there was a period of time where like solving mysteries on TV programs was like really big, or like ghost things was really big.
Absolutely. Maybe it wasn't him. Oh my god. Maybe I
Don't
imagined.
Go down this rabbit hole.
I imagined all my like childhood.
All many hours of watching the TV.
It's all not real. Oh well.
We can research it off mic. And we'll add it into the notes.
Yeah, that was dull. Sorry. So, oh my goodness, where do we begin?
I don't know.
Where do we start?
I don't know. Do you want to start? Shall I start?
I mean, I'm happy to start.
Okay.
Mine.
You lead me in so that I can ground myself a little bit, so that I don't come at this in a way that makes people think I believe in the things that I'm saying.
Okay. Right. Okay. This theory is called Paul is Dead. And it is a conspiracy theory alleging that Paul McCartney of the Beatles fame died on the 9th of November 1966 and was secretly replaced by a lookalike.
That's so specific. Like, I'm sure that you will go on to tell me why they've just specifically chosen this date, but that I'm like caught up on why that date.
I know. I don't even know if it really goes into that detail, but according to the theory, McCartney died in a car crash, and to spare the public from grief, the surviving Beatles replaced him with the winner of a McCartney lookalike contest, sometimes identified as William Campbell or Billy Shears. And apparently
many lookalikes.
And apparently afterwards the band started to leave messages in their music and their album artwork to communicate the truth to their fans.
Yes.
So this is I didn't even look too far into different, because I started looking at a list of theories, just general conspiracy theories, and this one was one of the first to pop up, and I was like, it's so brilliant. This is the one I'm gonna do. So this conspiracy theory really blew up in the late 60s. It was particularly popular with like college campuses and kind of young people of that age group who obviously were really into the Beatles and sort of obsessed with them. And they started to see signs and symbols in the artwork of the Beatles afterwards and the music as well. And I want to give you some really fantastic examples of them, because they're quite something, and it really proves this kind of, you know, we as humans, we're so desperate to find connection and meaning in everything. There's some sort of like order to the chaos. So people went to town on this, and it's so good. So I will show you some pictures, and obviously when we put this up online, I'll try and sort of send the articles so you can actually see them yourselves whilst you're listening along.
I'll put the pictures on like our Instagram post or something.
That would be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to start showing you some artwork first. Now, the first artwork people started to notice was the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album artwork. So you're probably familiar with it because it's...
I'm actually one of the least familiar people with the Beatles.
Well,
I'm like super not... I do see... Yep.
Is that like the wrong way around for you?
No, I can read it.
Oh, good. Okay, so there's... At the bottom of the Sgt. Pepper's album cover, there's a guitar made of flowers, and it's the same type of guitar that Paul plays, and it kind of looks like, you know, funeral flowers you'd have for a funeral. Also, if you take the Lonely Hearts bit of the drum and you reflect it with a mirror, according to people, it says 11/9, he die.
He died.
He died. So,
if you reflect it with a mirror...
Yeah. Who was high to do that?
The thing is, to do that and to find something, surely that must mean that you've also done that to every single other album art from any other artist, in the hopes that one day you will find one that's got a message in it.
You're like, oh, they get better. So there's apparently I can't really see it in the picture, but apparently there's like a bloody driving glove in the picture. He was driving a car and apparently died in a car crash. So
I mean, I can't see it closely, but...
I can't either. And then there's an open palm above Paul's head, sort of suggesting kind of like, you know, when someone anoints someone, if that makes sense. It's sort of, they say it's akin to like a priest blessing him.
Oh, okay. Okay, blessing him in his death, in his hour of death.
Going further than that is, this is my favourite one, the favourite album cover. It's the Abbey Road album cover artwork, so you probably recognize...
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
It's very famous.
So that's, for anyone who maybe is even less familiar than me, that's the one where they walk across the zebra crossing. Everybody knows that one.
Yeah. So people started to see patterns in kind of, first of all, how they're walking. So first of all of them, apart from Paul, are walking like in sync, but Paul's walking with the other leg in front. So they think there's something going on there, and he's barefoot as well, which suggests that he is kind of not of this world anymore and he's dead.
Which suggests he's dead.
It does. That's what I go to. And apparently, so in their pattern, so John Lennon is walking first. He's all dressed in white, and people assume that's kind of some kind of holy figure, like a deity. Next in line, you've got Ringo, who's all dressed in black, and apparently he represents the kind of funeral kind of procession or something. Next to that is Paul, and the reason he's barefoot is because he's the corpse.
Yeah.
And then finally you have George, all dressed in denim, and apparently that signifies that he is the gravedigger.
How?
I know.
How does a full denim suit signify anything? Sorry.
Well, get a
other
shovel.
than yeah, what?
Apparently, you know what, denim's hard wearing. You know, you'd wear denim.
I guess.
I
wouldn't wear denim to dig a grave. I don't think.
And in the back there's a car, and the car like license plate, it says LMW 28IF. So this stands for LMW Linda McCartney, his obviously wife at the time, Linda McCartney widow. And then 28 if he apparently would have been 28 when like this was made, this cover, I believe.
28 if he had survived.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's what it means. So there's some very I love these so much, and the best bit is the audio clips, because they're freaky as heck. Okay.
Of people like reversed them and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let me put my volume up. All right.
Yeah.
This is going forward.
Number 9.
Is that really loud?
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
This is going backward.
9. If I had to guess from the knowledge of what we've been talking about and from hearing it,
Yeah.
I can kind of hear Dead Man at the end.
Yeah.
But it sounds like what I'm hearing is Nxivm, which it's not a word. So if I had to turn it into a sentence, I'd maybe say bring it on, Dead Man.
Oh, you're close.
What is it?
It's meant to be Turn Me On, Dead Man.
Ew, gross.
Yeah, I know.
Ew.
Don't
wait.
want that.
Isn't the number 9 thing? What is that? That was someone's Yoko Ono, wasn't it? And
well, this whole album, and I actually know this from before because I ended up doing a musical once which involved researching this, and I was really into it. The whole of this album, the White Album, was it. Charles Manson and all his little minions, they believed that there was hidden messages in the White Album that essentially proved there was going to be huge race riots, and that black people would eventually rise up and destroy white people. And yes, I know.
Okay.
They were,
Then.
let's face it, they were
I was like, oh, race riot. Oh no, wait. Oh, they're on the wrong side of the race. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're just being racist. I understand.
Exactly. So they started reading crazy things into it, including this song Revolution 9, which I need to go back and do my research on it, but I'm sure some people listening to this will have heard of it before. But it's pretty creepy. Like, they really, really took this whole album as the Bible for them. Yeah, and even down to writing, they liked using the word pig a lot in what, for example, with Sharon Tate and the Sharon Tate Bianca murders. They found pig written on the wall in blood. And there's a whole song about this in White Album. Not about it, but it's called Piggies. So they really believed in this kind of...
Weird.
Yeah, so it's a whole
God.
other conspiracy theory, and it's mental.
Or an episode on cults.
Oh my God, we should totally do an episode on cults.
We should totally do it. I've been binging podcasts over this entire lockdown, and one of them has led me to many different cult podcasts. So yeah, I'd be down for that. I'll pop that in the next poll. Yeah. And see if people fancy it. But anyway, back to this one. So it was meant to be Turn Me On, Dead Man.
Next, let's play the next one for you. Okay, so
tell me the song name first.
Okay, this is from Glass Onion.
Okay, that doesn't help. But yes,
yeah, sure.
Play me anyway.
So this is
why not?
Playing forward. That was. Did you get what that was?
No.
They're
to me, it sounded like the walrus has come. Is what I heard.
Well, pretty much. The walrus.
Okay.
The walrus is Paul.
Oh, okay, cool.
So backwards. That one's ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to get to that.
That one is ridiculous. Oh my god. It was like, I have honestly, like, if I was to try and guess in the context, maybe like circum something.
It's Paul took the wrong road.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I
no,
know
it's not.
Sorry, conspiracy theorists 0 on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, conspiracy debunked. They did not say Paul took the wrong road.
Next one is from Let It Be.
Okay, know. I know this one.
So.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
All right. Backward.
Okay. Yep. So that one I can understand what it is. People think they think he says he's dead, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's been dead.
Oh, he's been dead.
He's been dead.
I was like, it's even funnier. He's been dead. He's been dead.
If 28 if. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like, again, listening in the context of what I want to hear, I could hear he's dead.
Yeah.
But also, like, kind of not. Do you know what I mean?
It's quite intense. It's like,
yeah.
It sounds like a really bad, like, lounge singer. It's like, cool. Next one is.
Oh my god, how many have you got?
I know, we can cut some of these if they're really. I just don't want to go forward because I'll skip them.
I know, I'm like using my brain so hard.
We're over halfway.
Okay.
Okay, this is from the song Birthday. Okay. Oh, it's so creepy.
I have no clue. Like, other than them, like, mimicking the screeching of tires.
Ooh,
like,
that's not what it is, but
oh yeah,
I like it. I
but
love
you're like,
it.
I like that. Let's start using that conspiracy
let's
theory.
start putting that in the Wikipedia page.
Yes.
It's meant to be. Yeah. Again, Paul is dead. La 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 la.
Why? Why?
Because I would have, if I was a famous
la la
fan,
la,
I would be like la la, nothing better to do. Yes, and what's the next one? Oh, this one's good. The song is called "It's Johnny's Birthday." Okay.
Okay. Another birthday song.
Yeah, weird, eh?
Okay.
It's like, and we would like to wish him all the very best.
Already, you don't have to play it backwards. You can be like, oh, he's dead, but we'd like to wish him the best in heaven. Like, you can always just use that. Conspiracy theorists are reaching. They're reaching too hard.
Right, backwards.
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't know. Something about, I think I heard the word died.
What? So it goes back to the Abbey Road picture, and it says apparently he never wore his shoes. We all know he was dead.
Oh my my god. See, this is the thing. See, if they stretched too far on that one. Like I was saying, they should have just been like, oh, this song in the first place was about the life and times, and also him resting. Also, let it be. You could be like, oh yeah, let it be. Like, leave him dead. And you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't have to turn it backwards and be like, it's fucking Paul is dead, la la la.
La la la.
La la.
This is the last one. Okay. It's from. Oh, anyway, it's from Real Love. Backwards. That one's quite clear, actually.
I thought I heard the word please. I don't know. I'm really bad at this game. I don't know.
No, it's hard. I'm reading it, like the lyrics of it, so
that probably would help.
It's meant to say, Paul, we used to sing. It's really sad.
He's not dead.
He's not dead. He went, basically the reason this all happened, and this is what people are theorizing, the reason this all kind of came about is he went off the grid around that time of the supposed car crash. He completely took a break from life. He was just burnt out, and so he went up to Scotland and spent a lot of time on like a farm with his wife and his kids, and so he actually has chatted about this as well, because he's not, under a rock.
Because he's alive.
He's alive. And yeah, he basically said people were so used to seeing me in the paper like every week, and then all of a sudden I wasn't, and it made people start to think something's going on, something's happened. And he even made I think he made a tour or an album which was called Paul is Live. It was a live album, and I was like, yeah.
Very good, Paul.
So, it's, but I love it. What I love about these conspiracy theories is when people see and find things in images and music.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what happened to me when I was listening to the White Album, trying to understand what was being seen in that. And when you delve into it, you're like, whoa, like, my mind. I
know.
Obviously, but
this is the problem with conspiracy theories. That's what they do. They play on that part of you that's like, oh my god, but actually, like you said, like humans looking for meaning in things.
Yes,
and like that's definitely what conspiracy theories play on. It plays on like us needing to like find something. I actually because I was like, Paul is dead. You told me the title of it before we started to make sure we weren't doing the same one, and I was like, I think I know what this is kind of about. And I have like, there's two other ones of famous people that are basically the exact same, but with like different evidence. So there is the fairly famous one that is Avril Lavigne is dead.
Yes.
And it's actually been this girl called Melissa for the past few years. It was like something like Avril Lavigne caught Lyme disease, which I think is true, in 2015.
Yeah, I think she had Lyme disease.
Rather than like bouncing back from it, she passed away from it. But then did like a world tour in 2016 Melissa did a World War tour. World War II is what just came out of my mouth.
Sure,
Melissa did a World War II. Oh, I'm
what
struggling.
Does that mean? She invaded Poland? What?
Why would she do the Avril? Oh my god. Okay, Melissa did a worldwide tour as Avril Lavigne. I'm gonna have to keep this whole thing in the podcast because I don't even know when I started to muck up this. And people say that it was to do with her nose. Her nose looks different in pictures. Her voice sounds different, and her autograph looks different from those times. And that's the three main things. Oh, and someone else was like, and she wears dresses now. Avril Lavigne would have wore trousers all the time.
Always.
So those are that was the Avril Lavigne one. There's also the one about Elvis still being alive. You heard that one?
Or was there not an alternative offshoot? He was abducted by aliens.
Oh, quite probably. Yeah, quite probably.
Yeah.
The three, in fact, if you keep listening to the conspiracy theory, shout out to the conspiracy theory podcast.
Yeah, love it.
If you keep listening to it, they have episodes on Elvis. So their main three theories is that the people have seen him in the background of Home Alone 2, and that was him.
Oh my gosh, I have seen this. I remember watching the video and be like, ooh, was it not in the same scene as Trump? Or
I don't know. He's at the airport. I don't. It's just I've only seen a screenshot of it, but he's like at the airport behind the family. It's literally not him. It looks nothing like him. And everyone's like, it's Elvis, and he's come to tell us that he's still alive for some reason in the background of Home Alone 2.
Hell yeah! It's like they. Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't Elvis, but I think there was also a similar one to Elvis where, just after Michael Jackson died, they saw his ghost apparently in the hallway, and I'm sure there's a similar one to Elvis.
There's other ones that say like Michael Jackson has appeared in specific things and specific songs that have been written, or like hinting that he's like all that's just I genuinely think it's people like not wanting to say goodbye to someone that they like, you know, for the most part. Although I don't understand because Avril Lavigne and Paul McCartney are still alive, so they're not to say goodbye to anybody. I don't understand.
I have a theory. If she's got a bigger nose, guys, it's actually true that women, once they've had a baby, sometimes their nose gets bigger. That's a fact. I know. Yeah, it's an actual like that can happen.
What?
I know.
I know that your nose and your ears keep growing for your whole life. So like that's why you typically find that like older people have like longer ears or whatever. I didn't know that your nose just like elongated after having a baby.
I know. I think it goes widthways. I don't know for sure. Because I've never had a baby. But yes, apparently that's strange.
Also, plastic surgery exists.
It does.
It very well could be that she just got her nose done.
Yeah, very, very true.
We don't look at like Jennifer Coolidge and think like, who's this? Who's this woman with these lips? That can't be Jennifer.
Did you hear the one about, speaking of pop stars, there was a little one a while ago that said that Katy Perry is actually John Benet Ramsey?
Yes, I saw that one. I saw that one. And the thing that another, again, my issue with looking into conspiracy theories and being like, oh my god, because if I look at it too long, I start to think it's true. I like basically anything. And with the Avril Lavigne one, I saw a picture of like young Katy Perry. I saw a picture of young Katy Perry next to like now Katy Perry, and I thought they were showing me a picture of young
John Benet.
Yeah, but actually it wasn't. So I was looking at these pictures, I was like, oh my god, it must be her. They're the exact same person. And then I was like, oh no wait, it's just two pictures of Katy Perry. What the fuck?
Guys, that's a mad one. That's a whole.
They are mad.
Like the John Benet thing. It's not like this topic because it's like it's a proper true crime topic, but that is a very fascinating story where people are not. There's so many weird things in that case.
Well, this is so there's a lot of like that's the thing. Like true crime sometimes like can overlap so much with conspiracy theory because. Like, there's so many things in true crime where you're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Wait, why did that happen? You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's why Making a Murderer, if you ever saw it, did so well. Simply because lawyers and law enforcement, as we full well know, law enforcement especially, lie. And, like, cheat and do dumb stuff and then try and cover it up. And that documentary, moreover than just being, you know, about a specific case, was sort of showing these huge flaws in the system. But if you're someone who thinks the system as it should be isn't flawed, and it's just this one thing that's happened that's flawed, you're going to start to build conspiracy theories about that one thing. You know what I mean? Totally. But I don't want to look into any of them too much because number one, I really am in the mood to just like, you'd find me in the corner like wrapped in a blanket in the dark, just being like, I've seen the world for what it is and it's ugly, you know?
My eyes would be like saucers 24/7.
Oh my god, I'd have my tin hat on. That's why the one that I've chosen is just so dumb. Because I was seeing all these other ones and I was like, I cannot focus my little brain onto these. I'm just so worn out this week that I'm like, if I look at this for too long, I think I might explode. I found myself on the Scientology homepage and I was like, why am I here?
They know your IP address now. They're gonna find you.
Oh no, don't tell me that. They're gonna come to my door. They're gonna try and get all my secrets.
They're gonna find you on the street and be like, have you considered signing up to the Church of Scientology?
No, don't. If they find me right now, honestly, I'm in such a mind space that if they were like, hey, do you want to know more about the universe? I'd be like, yes, I do.
Help me make sense of it.
Yeah, please tell me what to do moving forward in my life.
Can I meet Tom Cruise? Cool.
Yeah. Can I go to your weird white headquarters? I need to know. Anyway.
I want to hear your story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read you, I've written it out, like, for myself, so I'm going to read you my little, like, one-sentence synopsis of what this is about. Ready?
Yes.
The movie Frozen was created... Sorry. Sorry, I will get through it. Okay. The movie Frozen was created in order to bury the theories that Walt Disney had himself frozen just before or after his death to be reanimated in the future.
I love it.
Oh my god. It's like a proper conspiracy theory. Oh my god. So,
I've never heard of this one, so this is amazing.
Oh, that's so good. So basically, there's been a rumor for ages that Walt Disney, either just before or just after his death, either froze his whole body or just froze his head. He froze some area of himself, so that at some point in the future, when the technology was there, he could be reincarnated.
His head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just picturing that creepy like doll thing from Toy Story with the little tentacle legs.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, so apparently either his whole body or just his head. Sources differ. Also,
it's a Disney. Sorry, I was just like, it's a Disney film. Oh my god, it's maybe hinting. Anyway, carry on.
Well, I know. This is my problem. Even this one, I've been like, oh my god, there's so many clues. I've known all along. One source is adamant that he is buried under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, even though there is no sources that validate that claim at all.
Why that ride?
I have not a single clue.
Why?
The thing is, even the person who was like, yeah, he's buried here, like didn't answer the questions of like, why do you think this? Anyway, so
I mean, it's a small world. You would think would be a much more suitable place to put him, just as an animatronic.
you could probably just hide him in there, couldn't you? Maybe he's one of the animatronic pirates. I've never been on the ride. I don't know what it looks like.
I went on it when I was 6, so I have fuzzy memories of the rides, but they did stick in my head actually. The piratey one, which was not Pirates of the Caribbean like the film at the time.
Yeah, because the film came after that, didn't it?
Yeah,
anyway, let's not go into we're going into Disney lore at this point. So yeah, basically the rumor is Walt had himself cryogenically frozen so that at some point in the future he could come back to life, for whatever reason. Because this had become a big conspiracy theory, it meant that if you ever searched like the term Disney and the term Frozen in any configuration in Google, you'd have hundreds of pages of like dedicated to this theory, people talking about this theory about Walt Disney. So basically what they're saying is that they were trying to bury all of these conspiracy theory pages under a different search. So what Disney did was they made a film called Frozen. So now if you type in Disney Frozen or Frozen Disney or any configuration of Disney and Frozen in the title, rather than finding things about Walt Disney's frozen head under the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, you will find the movie Frozen.
Yeah, which is actually quite a logical move, I think.
Because we'll go into like things that validate this and things that don't validate this, I guess. Although I only have 1 point for what will not validate this, so we'll see how that goes. But, and you know, it is true. When I typed in like Disney Frozen or Frozen Walt Disney or whatever, I saw a bunch of pages for the movie. Like I had to like specifically like type in like Walt Disney's Frozen head to get to get what I wanted for this. Yeah, cryogenic frozen future man. Yeah. So the things that validate the claim, I suppose. Number one, like a lot of Disney's films, it's based on a fairy tale from Hans Christian Andersen, called the Snow Queen or the Ice Queen. I can't remember what it's called. So people think it's a bit like on the nose that it's called Frozen and not called something like I don't know, Ice Sisters. I can't think of another one, but you know what I mean.
Sisters on Ice.
Yeah, Disney Sisters on Ice, or something, you know, like, or Ice Queen, or you know, whatever. There's many other things it could have been called, but instead it was called the specific word that they were trying to hide, which is Frozen. So people use that to like validate this claim. There's also, and this one, unfortunately, is the one that I was like, ooh, and was like looking into and got excited about seeing. Basically, Disney, out with this, goes to great lengths to protect their family-friendly, sort of whimsical image. And so for that reason, that's why they're trying to keep the fact that, like, Walt Disney was actually a complete eccentric, like, underground. So when I was doing all of my research into this, I saw there's loads of photos of Walt Disney that have been photoshopped to edit out his cigarette. So Walt Disney was a massive chain smoker.
Yeah.
So most of the pictures that you see of him, he would have had a cigarette in his hands, and it's led to people calling his like hand movements in his pictures the two-finger salute. Because in a lot of pictures you see him like, it looks like he's waving at someone but with only two fingers up. And Tom Hanks even does this in Saving Mr. Banks, the movie. When he's like in a few of the different scenes, he's like waving like with his two fingers up, or he points with his two fingers up. But what it actually is, of course, is that there was a cigarette there in these pictures. So he had his two fingers together holding his cigarette, but now it just looks like he's waving at people because...
Jeez, imagine that was your job, to go through all footage of Disney, like Walt Disney.
It's so strange, isn't it? There's also... So I also, in my deep dive, ended up on Reddit and ended up on all sorts of places. And I ended up on a post that was apparently a post by... Now, this is Reddit, so let's take it all with a pinch of salt. But it was apparently a post by someone who used to work for Disney and Disney Cruises. And they said that there's a section of the contract that says that costumed employees under no circumstances can take off their costume in front of or anywhere near the park, like or people in the park.
I've heard of this too.
It says even in the case of emergencies. So this specific Redditor said that he played an underwater Goofy on the Disney cruise ship. I don't know what that means, but you know, I think it means what it says, honestly. But you know. And he says that in his contract there was a specific clause that said if he drowned, the lifeguards would take him out of sight before removing his costume to give him CPR.
Wow, yeah.
So he was, even in drowning, not allowed to take the costume off until he was rescued and out of sight. Then they would give him life-saving CPR with the costume off. Ridiculous.
That's commitment. I mean, my mind would not be on this if I was drowning.
Exactly. Also, what would be harder for children to watch? A man breaking the character and being like, "I'm drowning, help me," or actual Goofy. Drowning? Oh, come on, crazy!
Oh my God,
I know. So yeah, the sort of fierce protectiveness that they have over their image is what people are saying is why they want to bury this sort of conspiracy theory of Walt having frozen himself. Now, obviously, when you're looking at conspiracy theories, it's hard to find plot holes because you're looking at people who fully believe this. And so my only sort of plot hole of this one was why try to cover up him being eccentric when there's loads of like pretty clear, I don't even want to call them theories, but there's loads of evidence that he was racist anti-Semitic, misogynist, like, you know, he was very many other horrible things. I think eccentric is one of the least of our worries when it comes to Walt Disney. But yeah, that was it. When I was looking in amongst them, I was like, the best one I can find. And it led to like a fun little bonus conspiracy theory. I know. And this one was one that I saw on someone commenting on this conspiracy theory, like in the comments. And now, more so than just the actual conspiracy theory I just talked about, this one I actually can like see some like truth in. I'll explain it first and then I'll tell you my... So the theory is that actual conspiracy theories are being covered... So conspiracy theories that are true are being covered up by the government by bogging down the searches with people who are making posts making fun of these conspiracy theories. So basically that person was basically saying like, so rather than the government like closing the sites down that these people are making, they're like putting them, like making them known so that people are like, that's ridiculous, and then put their own pages out there. Like, so they're basically saying that media outlets like Vice Media, which we all know is sexist and racist anyway, but whatever, or like Bored Panda or BuzzFeed or whatever, they're saying that like the government is allowing them to get their hands on these conspiracy theories so that they will make fun of them, so that people will see that and be like, oh, that's hilarious and ridiculous, and they'll never find the actual source material underneath all this. Which I was like, you go.
If I was like, you know, a fresh young dude out of like university and I've just got my dream job in BuzzFeed, the fun, cool, hip, lively place, I don't think in any way like I would be able to keep a secret like that. I would be like,
that's true.
I am determined to tell the truth. The truth is, you are all being lied to. I don't know.
But are they being told though?
Maybe they're not. Maybe just like, one person in BuzzFeed knows.
Or maybe not even that. Like, if you saw, like, for example, this dumb conspiracy theory about Walt Disney, if you saw only the source material for that, you would be like, this is dumb, I'm going to post about how dumb this is. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, it's buried under, like, the source material is buried under all these other things.
Frozen.
I'm not saying, Frozen the movie. I'm not saying that these ones are actually real, but in my research of, like, crazy, Google searching crazies, conspiracy theories no one believes, like those, all my Google search history is just wrecked by this completely. But I found a web page that was like conspiracy theories that then turned out to be completely true, and like found out. I know that would make me much more interested. I think with the Disney one, really quick, I think I can actually really see both sides, because if I was like a marketing dude at Disney, then yes, I would want to keep the family-friendly image as clear and cut as possible. But you're totally right. At the end of the day, firstly, it's such a massive like folklore thing. Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen. Even if you took it out or tried to get rid of it in Google searches, people just know. They just know that, and it gets passed down, and you just know about it. It's like one of those little things that like you don't know how. It's like when you go out to you like walk past a school and you see the kids playing the same games or the same rhymes that you knew, and you're like, who told them that? But they just know it. That like him being frozen just feels like that as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you're totally right. He had far worse character flaws in him that were much more severe. I would personally, if I was Disney, I would push the cryogenics further, because I'd be like, isn't he fun?
Isn't he
Look
quirky?
At this guy. Yeah, no, I love that though. I love the thought of that being. I never heard of that whole idea of Frozen being made just for that.
I know. When I was looking into it, because again, I really didn't think I was going to find anybody who actually believed it. I was like, oh, it'll just be someone telling me that this is a thing. And then I like found people being like, no, but like think about it. And I was like, okay, I'll think about it.
So good. Oh my goodness. Do you want to go and keep telling yours, or shall I quickly tell you another of mine very quickly?
I'm basically, I think that was all mine. Because my extra bonus ones were like Avril Lavigne and Elvis and things like that. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up talking about this topic, and then my bonus one was that conspiracy theories as a whole are there to distract us from the government.
From the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some that I genuinely think there's definitely more. There's always something more that meets the eye, and I do think that there's so much stuff that has been covered up. I really believe it.
Yeah.
Like,
Annabelle, the more that you listen to that conspiracy theory podcast, literally, I like walk around and I'm like, did you know that Marilyn Monroe was murdered? Like, I fully believe it now after listening to all the evidence. I was like, how could anyone ever think otherwise? But this is my problem. Am I just gullible? I don't know.
But no, I think if anything that I personally, and I think that anything within the human society that you've ever seen reenacted, like on film, I think it has to have been based on truth at some point, because humans are nuts. Like, even just knowing that there was very, very recently that whole Nexus cult, and cults exist, and people get so absorbed in them and believe them. And
have you heard about? Oh, who is he? He's that really crap actor that played the Joker that time when it was bad.
Jared Leto.
What's his name? Yeah. Have you heard that Jared Leto started a cult?
But no.
Yeah, oh my god, look it up. I only found out about it recently and it made me so angry.
Shit.
He genuinely started a cult. He walks around, he's on this island, people pay to go and visit him on this island. He walks around in this white robe with his stupid beard and his stupid hair, and he like gets people to sit and listen to him speak. He genuinely thinks he's like the Messiah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's not being stopped.
This is it. Like, people don't stop, like, this kind of like maniac kind of ego that some people have, and you can see it unfolding, and you're like, this has happened many times, and that's
the thing. I always think, like, we've seen this happen before, and it always ends in tragedy. Something bad hugely bad always happens. Like, the reason it was in the news recently was because the people who were on the island, they go there for X amount of weeks, and then they came off the island, they were like, wait, why is everybody in their houses? What's a pandemic? Like,
oh no.
Yes.
Oh
no. It's absolutely insanity. I bet you that once COVID's like over and done with, people can go and be places again. He will start it up again. I can't remember what he's called it, but it's just insanity.
Do you think he plays his own 30 Seconds to Mars songs on an acoustic guitar?
I genuinely think that he tried to bill it as like a weekend concert. But like all of the pictures are him like walking in front of a flock of mostly women, walking in front of a flock of them in his white robes and his sandals, like just being the literal worst guy. I hate this man so much.
Yeah, from the stories I've heard of like his method acting and just being an asshole.
Don't even start me on his.
Who is he?
Wow. Why was he doing those things? Yes. We should get tickets just to go and punch him.
Yeah. We were gonna just rock up and we're like, just at least kick some sand in his face and slightly kick him in the shins and run away. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, it's like once people are in that kind of power, everyone around them becomes a yes man, and everyone just perpetuates that ego, and no one's there to be like, dude, you are so far gone from reality. And oh my god,
that's the thing. Like, oh my god, I had some people, huge tangent, I had some people on my tour at Edinburgh Gin a while back, and it turns out that they work in Hollywood, and they told me who the best person they've ever worked with and the worst person they've ever worked with was.
Name and shame.
I know I will. Well, do you want to guess who the best was?
I actually know this story.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do.
you do, of course.
I remember.
So, the best was Sandra Bullock, so everybody go out and support her. Apparently she's wonderful. Super nice, super friendly. The worst was, I always forget his name. He was in Meet the Fockers.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller. Yeah. Apparently he was the literal worst. And it's because of what you said. It's because of people becoming yes men and then you thinking that you're the best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like no one around you to, bring you down.
Yeah, when he was executive producer for, I always, again, forget the name of the film, but it was something about Walter Mitty, like the incredible life of...
Something, I know the
wonderful,
one you mean.
eccentric Wonderful Great Life of Walter Mitty. But
says it in the
that
title.
It says it right there. He was executive producer, and of course he was Walter Mitty, and he spent over £100,000 or dollars on screen touch ups for him on his face and like whatnot. And he spent literal $0 for the leading lady in the film. He was like, "Oh, she'll be fine, whatever." And when they were doing that, because one of the guys that was on my tour, he was part of the crew that was editing the film, and he went to their studios for 1 week. He made them build him his very own toilet because he was like, "I don't share toilets."
Oh, Lord.
And then he was like, "No, I don't like this. Everybody pack up your stuff. We're gonna do it at my house." So they had to pack up their whole studio and then go and like finish the film at his house. Like, oh my god.
Oh my god. Yep. No wonder his like. No wonder his wife left him. It's so bad. I shouldn't. This is all like not based in fact. What's the word? I don't know. This is all speculation.
Speculation. Yeah, it is all speculation, and also completely not about conspiracy theories. So. The conspiracy theory against Ben Stiller.
Let's start one. So I have a really brief one, and I'm gonna just share pictures. I won't really. There's nothing really much to it other than some people believe that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is the son of Fidel Castro.
Oh, okay.
I know. And this is something that I actually started looking at. I think it was on Reddit, and at the time I was like, they do have a striking similarity when they were both the same age. And apparently, like, his parents obviously they did know Castro. But I think but someone I think debunked it where they said, oh, the parents met Castro after they were born, like Trudeau, Justin was born. Anyway, unless it wasn't true and that wasn't their first meeting. But I love it because you can start just seeing things in the pictures.
Oh, you totally can. I saw a few of those earlier on and I was like, wait a minute. I saw one, it was like, Obama is the son of Malcolm X. And I was like, what? And then like when you see the pictures, you're like, they do look fairly similar, but also, what?
Wait a minute. Yeah, if there's no other option apart from what you're given, then you naturally start to see. It's again, it's
if you give me two pictures, if you give me two pictures and you're like, this is definitely that person's son, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure, I think I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I will always, like, for sure, not all conspiracy theories do I completely mock and debunk, because I do think there's always a place for them, and I love mystery. I as you know, like, I have weird ghost stories, so there's always something that I want to believe in, and I think when I was younger I was much more willing to believe in these things, or not to the extent of Annabelle wearing a tinfoil hat, but like just sort of being open and almost wanting it to be true, because you want the world to be a more exciting place.
Exactly. You want the like whimsy and the like the spies and all that sort of stuff. And like the crazy thing is exactly what you said a second ago. Like anything you see on TV is somewhat based in truth, because there are a lot of insane stories about spies across the years, and there are a lot of insane stories about like the government testing psychedelic drugs on, like, you know, all this crazy stuff. Yeah, if you being true.
Exactly. Like if you think of the whole like Russian, like, you know, the Salisbury poisonings, and like was it Lutsenko that was poisoned, and these things are like almost like, even by officials, almost 100%, you know, seen as fact, even though Russia denies it. Everything points to agents coming and trying to kill someone who's an enemy of the state, and I'm like, dude, like, this is so, you just don't think it's part of your time. You think, oh my god, that's so like Cold War-y, Iron Curtain, like something you'd see in the 60s, but I think it's happening, and it happened.
I think the reason that conspiracy theories are so like, you're so like, ooh, is because like we know full well these things can still occur. Like some of them, like like I don't know. I just feel like it would be crazy to completely debunk all conspiracy theories as false because, like I say, there are some that started off as conspiracy theories and ended up being true, like the American government testing LSD on people. Like that's true. That's a real thing that happened, and for a long time was a conspiracy theory until it was like, no, we did do it. Yeah, we did do it.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Oh yeah. No one remembers it, because of the psychedelics, but we did do it.
Yeah, I know. I think I love it. I hope people stay curious, and I think most of us take these things with a pinch of salt, but I would hate to think we'd live in a world where we didn't let our imaginations run riot with these things, because I it's like I'm being a child again, and it's really fun.
There's actually one, and I saw this ages ago, and I tried to look it up today, but like loads of the information that I found on it before is gone.
Oh.
So I was like, and I think it's because it's ongoing, and I think they've dubbed this man the Red Light Robin Hood. Have you heard of this before?
No.
So it's a man in America, in some place in America, who basically found out that there was cameras taking photos and giving tickets to people who were crossing over red lights. But there was no leeway there between people who were like trying to not be rear-ended or like trying to stop a vehicle from spinning out, things like that. And he was also noticing that the traffic lights that had these cameras on, the yellow light was significantly shorter, causing more people to run red lights and to get money, and then the state would get far more money from those people. And like it was some sort of statistic of the states that did that had X amount more money from that than other states. And he noticed this, and he was like, right, this is horrible. And he started snipping the wires of these spy cameras. He started snipping the wires of these traffic cameras. Excuse me, slip of the tongue. He started snipping the wires of these traffic cameras, and he ended up getting jailed, and he got out of jail. He was meant to be in jail for 7 years for it, and he got out of it, and he did, I think, 1 year community service or something instead, because he made some sort of plea. But then, and now all this stuff you can still find, but I found previous to this and some other conspiracy theory binge I must have been on, I found this thing where in between, when he came out, he started doing it again, because he was like, people are still dying, people are still being in car crashes and being like wrongfully ticketed because they're trying so hard not to get ticketed at these lights. Was that your dog?
Yeah, it was. Did you hear her?
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway. Because people are trying so hard to not be ticketed at these lights, they're like abruptly stopping, and it's causing crashes, it's doing all sorts. So when he got out of his first like dispute with the law, he started doing it again. Then a car tried to crash into him. Like a just a black car on the road tried to like veer over and crash into him, and he almost was caught himself in a car crash.
Just a random car, like he didn't know who it was.
Did it
have blacked out windows?
I know the car itself was black, but I don't know about anything else about the car. But yeah, so that happened, and I'm pretty sure now. Again, I can't fact check this because I can't find it anymore on the internet. But this happened apparently more than once, to the point that he was like, I'm not going out on the roads of my car anymore. It's not worth it. Yeah. And then I believe he was picked up again by the police for doing it, and that's when he served his 1 year community service or whatever. As far as I know, he's still fighting all this stuff. But yeah, how crazy isn't it insane that I like remember this from a few years ago when it was new, and now that I'm looking at it, all of the car crash stuff has just left.
Yeah, that is very bizarre. Surely on the internet is forever, right? That's what they say.
There's websites that you can go on that if someone has archived or if someone has taken a web page down, it will archive in this other website, which I can try and find. It was Hannah that told me about it. So yeah, usually if something's gone, you can find it again if it's been archived. So yeah, maybe I can search for it and find it.
Yeah, interesting. You know, it doesn't surprise me if something as simple as like changing the timing of a color of a traffic light by a second, you know, maybe it's just really easy to do, and maybe
Probably.
that is a whole thing. Like, I really wouldn't surprise me at all.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't have much faith in the government, especially the American government, anymore. Not that the British government is much better, but I wouldn't put it past them to be like, oh yeah, we're making loads and loads of money from tickets, so let's just shorten the amber lights and make people pay more money for tickets.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm glad I live in Scotland sometimes. In theory, I think that we're just all a bit... We just don't give enough of a shit to do anything really like that. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I think every government has a level of corruption in it, and we probably just aren't like seeing it right now. But I also do feel like I would choose Scotland over some of the other governments that I've been hearing about fairly recently.
Yeah.
Even our very close neighbours, slightly up or down the island, should I say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Unless Nicola's a good old lizard, as everyone seems to be now. So
yeah, everyone's a lizard.
Everyone's a lizard.
But Prince Charles is a vampire. Have you seen this conspiracy theory?
Is that Charles or Philip?
It was Charles, I thought.
Oh,
Prince
that's
Charles.
cool, because I think I've heard that Prince Philip is a vampire.
Maybe. I mean, Charles is his son, so maybe they're both vampires. I believe, well, I think it was Charles because through his mother's side, he is related, you know, very distantly to Vlad the Impaler, who was the guy that Bram Stoker based his vampire Dracula book on. So, people say that that's why. Also, people note his very pale complexion.
That's
one of the reasons.
That scuppers me as well. Like,
how could that
like,
be?
What?
The rest of us are all so tanned.
Yeah, I know. That's hilarious, and I could also imagine. I think like people assume Prince Philip is like a zombie, or just a lizard again.
Yeah, a zombie at this point would make sense from the way that he's just clinging on.
I know, that's a whole other conspiracy that we won't probably get into about him being responsible for Diana's death. But
yes, I know. I know that you've just listened to another podcast.
I have. So I'm like,
is that your serving suggestion this week? Is like go listen to all of it.
Nicely moving on to serving suggestion. My serving suggestion isn't that, but it is something like I started watching yesterday, and it's on Netflix, and it's called Unsolved Mysteries. And it's like I only seen the first episode, and it was just quite interesting and fun. And it's not so much about conspiracy, but maybe more about potential cover-ups. And
cool.
Yeah. And the first one's about a man who, under bizarre circumstances, left his house very suddenly. He had no prior like proof of him feeling suicidal or being down or depressed or whatever. Not that that means like you're not, but there was just no indicators, and he apparently had fallen off or was pushed off or jumped off a very tall building, and it's all like related. Like people are like, he didn't jump, he was killed, he was pushed, just by things like the trajectory of how he fell, and the fact that his work seemed a little bit shady and people don't trust it, and the work now don't talk to the press or anything, and they basically got lawyers on it straight away before anyone could start asking questions. Anyway, it's quite interesting. So I would say, yeah, if you're into like weird things, start giving that a watch, because that's really, really cool.
That is interesting. True crime is like difficult for me because I love true crime. Yeah. However, I hate not knowing how it ends. Yeah, like the Zodiac killer. Just every time I think about it, I get so angry because I'm like, I think I know who it is. And I'm like, how did you guys? Oh, and the fact that like it just will never be solved, just like infuriates me. It's
like Jack the Ripper. That annoys me
Jack
as
the
well.
Ripper as well.
It's quite a long time ago. But speaking of, like, even though that we feel is the case, like they did solve the Golden State Killer only about a year or two ago, and he had been like murdering in the 70s and 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
And he he's actually known for much more crimes or different aliases that people have now put together and said that was the work of one person. So they actually have, and I think this is going to open up loads of things, because the way they found him, that he was the killer, some people think it's a bit unethical, but I'm actually a bit like, I don't think it was horribly bad. Okay. But they basically found that he was the murderer by people that had given like their DNA to genealogy websites to like find out who their, you know, relatives or ancestors were. I think a really distant relative of his had done this, so that DNA was in the system, and I think they matched it, very faint match with what was left on the crime sites of him. And a private investigator actually went through his bin and found something to use for his DNA, and it came up as 100% match.
Oh my god.
And that's how they found him after like 30 years or something, and now he's serving the rest of his life in prison. So I'm like, it could be possible now. These things are opening up. Things might be
personally, I think the Zodiac Killer is dead. The person that I think was the Zodiac Killer has died. So I'm like, anyway, that's for a whole different day. A whole other day. My survey suggestion is actually another thing to watch. It's one that me and Hannah have been watching, and it's called The Great British Sewing Bee.
Oh, I've heard of this. I've never watched it.
It's much the same as the one that I said weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I talked about the pottery, the pottery throwdown. It's basically the exact same thing. Imagine the Great British Bake Off, except instead of cakes, they're making garments.
Beautiful.
But it's just like, it's great. Even the worst sewers are incredible sewers, you know, in this competition. And they make incredible stuff, and like every week it's like a different. They have 3 challenges, and one of the challenges is to like, they get given a specific garment or a specific thing, and they're like, right, make something completely new and different out of this. And it's so cool. And it just like, if you're feeling, or for me anyway, if you're feeling in a bit of a creative rut, like if the pandemic has hit you hard in the creative department and you're just like not getting anything done, I found that watching that has been like, it's made me want to make stuff, because these people are also talented. It's been really helping me. This last week I've just been like, no energy, no nothing, and it's just been really helping me to like get geared up to
That's
live.
Brilliant. Oh no, that sounds so good. I get so inspired by people that can make clothes.
Maisie.
Because I know, sorry, everyone's like, that's Maisie. She's fine. She just desperately wants my attention. I'm so like amazed by people that can make clothes from scratch and can like upcycle and make things. I wish I could do that. Like I probably could. I mean, anyone could if they learn, but it's just not in my kind of frame of mind also, right now to do it. But
like Hannah previously has made herself a bomber jacket from scratch.
Oh my god!
And she said it took her about a month to like just like get round to finishing it all, getting all the right pieces and all that sort of stuff. They made a bomber jacket in 4 hours.
Wow!
4 hours. Oh my god!
Like lined as well, and like...
So I don't know if it was like lined, but like it had the collar, it had the cuffs, it had like the pockets, like everything else that you think of a bomber jacket having. It was a ready to wear bomber jacket by the time they'd finished those 4 hours.
That's amazing.
And like Hannah was like, that's disgusting. It took me a month.
Why are these people so talented?
I know, they are so talented. Honestly, even the one that goes out first, even the one that went home first, was still really talented. Amazing. Oh, I hope this picks up on the microphone. I don't just sound like a complete weirdo.
Oh baby, I'll take you out.
Well, we're basically at the end.
That's a hint that we will wrap things up for the day.
Yes.
Shall we tell people what next week's topic's going to be?
Yes. So we put a poll out again with a few different things, and the one that came back victorious was 1-star TripAdvisor reviews.
Whoa!
Which we're actually both very excited about.
Yeah, I love, as we listened to the last one, I love a good 1-star TripAdvisor, and
Yes.
we want to try and find sort of some interesting themes in there, and kind of categories that we can talk about. So
Yes. And
Keep
if you
tuned
follow
in.
our Instagram, which is Breakfast Food Podcast, you will see that we've just received some little prints of our Breakfast Food logo. And if you wish to receive a print, send us a really funny 1-star TripAdvisor review. And if we end up using it, then we'll send you a print after the episode airs.
really easy.
Really,
It's
as simple as
super.
that. Send
It's
it on
super.
super easy. Send it to our Instagram, DM either me or Annabel, me at cara.mckinley on Instagram, Annabel at Annabel
Logan Comedy.
That's the one.
Yeah. Or Twitter if you care
Twitter.
about Twitter. I don't know.
Some people do, yeah. Or we also have our email address, which is breakfastfoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So get on it, please.
Wow.
The worst, the saddest air horn. Okay.
Well, we're gonna go now.
We're gonna go, and I'm gonna find a way to live for the rest of the day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have a good breakfast.
Have a good breakfast.